a little bit, as a lot of times I'm not actually live for a little bit. All right, I'm live now. Tonight I have an Arizona Cowboy Cocktail Watermelon, which I wanted something a little sweeter tonight, so that's what I got. And, oh boy, oh god, it's a big can, hard to open. Let's see how it is before anyone tunes in. It's kind of weird. It tastes like brown sugar. I don't hate it. It is very sweet, which is, like I said, it's kind of what I wanted right now, but very sweet brown sugar. I like it. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I haven't actually had anything hard from Arizona before. But anyways, the title of the live stream. I went on a 3,000 mile road trip where I did a bunch of off-roading, probably well over 500 miles of that 3,000 was on gravel or actual serious off-road trails in my Volvo XC70. And I thought I'd do this little live stream, see if anyone tuned in to ask some questions about that. The first video, the first part, that is a very nice Subaru. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. The first part will be up on Friday. It's up now on Patreon and YouTube memberships. And I'm working on the second part, and that'll be obviously up on a week from Friday. Maybe that's not obvious, but yeah, I'm really excited about it. It went really well. The Volvo did break a little bit. I guess we'll talk about that for a second. I believe, I haven't looked at it yet. I meant to do that tonight, but I didn't get time. I believe one of the camber bolts that we put in the lift video that was out last Friday, I believe one of those failed, and so the driver's side front tire has a bunch of negative camber. I don't mind sharing that at all, because at the time I get home from this trip, I'm still not sure what it is. So yeah, we'll have to see. I'm gonna definitely do a XC70 rundown video at some point after the trip is over, and after all the videos are uploaded, I mean. And it also might include some upgrades, because I noticed a few things. You know, when you drive a car 3,000 miles, you can sometimes notice some things that you'd like to be better or whatever. So I noticed a couple things that I want to make better, so we'll see if I get around to that. Overall, I would say the car did an excellent job, though. I just need to fix a couple of things, and I think it'll be ready for its next trip. And I also, I guess another thing I could mention is that I slept in it one night, which is something I don't usually like to do. However, it went really well, and I might actually consider building out the car in the future. We'll see. For like overnight camps. Do I invest? I invest only in unreliable vehicles that will never provide a good return. Is that quite what you meant? No, I don't really invest. I have like retirement and shit, but not much. I don't manage any of that. I don't have the mental capacity. But yeah, the Volvo did really well, and I think I want to more modifications to it, make it more livable. My dad, it would be a lot of work for him to punch my leg right now. He lives about 6 hours away, so that'd be quite a drive. But no, fortunately, I am able to walk, no problem. I like it. I've gotten really used to the daily walks, and this was a 2025 resolution, and I'm gonna do that as a yearly series, my goals. So that will be another goals video come 2026, and we're gonna ramp up the daily exercise. So I'm kind of enjoying leisurely walks while I can for the rest of the year. The lifted XC70 is such a good vehicle. I wish, honestly, considering the fact that it was able to be aligned perfectly, I think this is how Volvo should have sold it from the factory. It's basically an SUV, but in wagon form, so it's less top heavy, it handles better, it looks cooler because it's a wagon. I'm really in love with the car in its current form, but once we get it fixed, because it's making some terrible noises right now. So I gotta pull the wheel off at some point and do a little investigation. But yeah, the road trip went really well, aside from the terrible noises it was making. Yeah. And I don't know, I honestly, the alignment shop, I'm gonna have to talk to them once I figure out what's wrong. Hey, I look exactly like your boss. I mean, welcome to being a white dude with a beard. Does your boss also have a bun? Jay, both of our names start with a J. Jay is not that common of a name, to be honest. Oh, okay, the bun is a little bit of a different thing. I guess, yeah, show me to him and make sure he subscribes, right? I am actually not ginger. That's just because I'm dark. It's dark out. My beard is a bit ginger, but my hair is actually super blonde. But you just can't tell because it's dark right now. Maybe there's a car coming? I don't know. I wasn't looking at the phone, but maybe you could see my real hair color with the car going past. Yeah, my beard is pretty ginger, but the hair is very blonde, even though I'm 27 years old now. My sister's hair went brown a long time ago. I feel like it represents our comparable maturities. Her hair matured just as she did. My hair did not mature just as I did. Oh boy, crossing the road without a crosswalk. Welcome to America. Oh, that's probably showing off my massive forehead. My glasses were slipping, and I got a drink in my other hand. It is quite a nice night. I would tell you the weather, but I don't know it. It's probably 75 or so. I'm actually just walking home from trivia at a local bar, and so my partner Leah took the car, and I'm on foot because got to do my daily walk anyways. Might as well stop and grab one of these guys, which I was in the mood for a sweet drink, but well, and this one's very sweet, but actually I quite like it. But yeah, the XC70 here. I guess I'll share the few upgrades that might be coming its way. I noticed that with all my camping gear and my tools in the back, it wasn't quite as lifted as I would have liked, especially in the rear, because the front springs, the front struts are XC90 front struts now, as you would have seen if you watched the video last week. And that means the front ride's a lot stiffer. It's really good at taking bigger bumps. One thing I noticed with the car during the stage 2 lift, or the stage 1 lift, one thing I noticed with the car during the stage 1 lift is that if I hit a big bump, the front struts would really bottom out. And with the XC90 struts, it really feels a lot more comfortable hitting large bumps without, you know, diving quite so much. But the rear is still the stock suspension. It just has spacers in it. And so when you hit a big bump, it really still does dive quite a bit, and it's quite warbly, especially when it's loaded. And there are some companies that make bigger springs that go over your stock struts. And I'm thinking about purchasing some of those. Why am I purple? Plus, thanks color balance. Plus the, God, what was I talking about? Plus the OEM springs, they have like 120,000 miles on them, so they're probably getting a little tired. So that might be in the future upcoming rundown, post-road trip rundown video. I don't obviously just kind of want to do a rundown and that's it. I would much prefer to do a, actually do some upgrades in the video, you know. I do notice there are 4 people watching. If you didn't see the title, I recently went on a 3,000 mile road trip with probably 500 to 1,000 miles of that being off-road. I took my Volvo XC70, the P2, so like 01 to 07 or something. And yeah, feel free to ask any questions. What went wrong? What went good? I mean, overall, it went really well. But yeah, I really am loving that car at the moment. I also love my 93 Subaru Loyale, but it's, what, 15 years older? It's a little hard to justify keeping both of them, because they're both four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive wagons, and the Volvo is so much newer. And at this point, with the lift, it's probably just about as capable, though if I can get the rear locker and the Subaru working, that would mean it would essentially have 3-wheel drive, and the Volvo would basically has 2-wheel drive with the fancy traction control. I don't know. They probably both have their place. I like wagons a lot. I probably have space in my stable for 2 wagons. Dude, the purple is tripping me out. This walk is probably about 2.5 miles, 2 miles, something like that. And I think I'm probably about halfway through it. Yeah, you're not allowed another wagon. I have a front-wheel drive wagon in the Subaru Loyale that I can switch to be a 4-wheel drive wagon. I also have an all-wheel drive wagon. I don't have a rear-wheel drive wagon. I think there is space for one more. I could have a rear-wheel drive wagon. And I think the most logical rear-wheel drive wagon is a BMW, or maybe a Mercedes. But it is a little redundant. That car is hauling ass. Speaking of BMWs, I guess, there was actually a BMW wagon I saw on Cars and Bids that had been manual swapped a while ago that I put in a bid or two on, but as do a lot of cars on Cars and Bids, went for more than I was willing to spend. But Mercedes actually would probably make more sense, because now I do have a BMW, my first German car. So yeah, Mercedes would probably make more sense. They do make some good wagons. A lot of them these days I think are all-wheel drive, but probably the stuff that I would be able to afford would be rear-wheel drive. Now more expensive German, as in I should buy a more expensive German car. The BMW is the most expensive car I own. Does it get more expensive than $5,000? Yes it does. Yes it does. It gets much more expensive than 5. For me, maybe not. But I don't know. As you might know, I am saving up for a house at the moment. So while I could drop a considerable amount of money on a car, I find that I have just as much fun with cheap cars, and then I can save for a house. Mercedes would be more expensive. You know, if you could find like one of the old diesel Mercedes, like one of the ones from like the 90s or even the 80s, I mean, depends on what one you find, like how good a shape it's in, but it probably wouldn't be that much more expensive. But also, it might be very, very, very slow. It would be very, very, very slow. I actually don't know if Mercedes did much with wagons in the 2000s. They must have. Yeah, they did, but I don't know if they did much with cheap wagons. I'm not sure. The old school Mercedes wagon and would be sick, and the BMWs, I also love the BMWs. I mean, just wagons are cool, man. That's why I owned 3 at one point, and now I still own 2. And I mean, even at one point I owned 3 wagons and a hatchback. And of course, my partner Leah has a hatchback, so they're just good cars. Why would you have a sedan? You get less storage, roughly the same gas mileage. All for what? So you don't look like a mother driving their kids to school in the 1970s or 1960s even. Like, it's just such a good car format, hatchbacks and wagons. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I have the Crown Vic, which is off-road capable. I loaded up with all the same gear as the Volvo, and it is crammed. On some trips, even to the roof in the back seat. In the Volvo, it's just like, I can see out the rear window fine. Even and in the Subaru, which is a smaller car than the Crown Vic and the Volvo, it's very small. And I can see out the back fine. Like, wagons are just the superior, they're the superior car. So, a Woody wagon. And I do have a little trouble picturing the Woodies. They're just so old at this point. They are, they're almost kind of like an SUV, like I want to say a Subaru Forester, but lowered a little bit. For my case, wagons make sense. What do you mean by my case? For my case, I don't need to own a car. I could bike to work and whatever. SUVs, I feel like these days, I mean, they do make a lot of sense, and that's why so many people have them. But also at this point, they're mainstream. And I like weird stuff. No, SUVs do make a lot of sense. Alex, Rails No Guard is my partner Leah. She's being a good partner in chat, I suppose. But I appreciate her keeping it lively here. I was hoping a few more people might tune in and ask questions about the road trip, but I know that at least a few hundred people will enjoy watching it when it releases on Friday. I really am looking forward to releasing these videos. I think they're going to be some of the best that I've made. So, I mean, hey, maybe that's not saying much, but I actually took the time. I really need a better workflow for putting maps in my videos, to show where I've been and such. But because right now I just screen cap myself scrolling around on Gaia or Google Maps, and it's really kind of clunky and doesn't look slick. I know there's plugins for After Effects, which is an Adobe product, and they refuse to give Adobe a dime, instead opting to use DaVinci Resolve. So I just haven't figured out a good solution for maps yet. Just scrolling around and screen capping seems to be the best that I have found. So if anyone has any advice on that with a DaVinci Resolve workflow, I would be all ears. That was a cop, and I got this bad boy right here. I guess I should be keeping an eye on potential bushes to chuck it in. Honestly, in my opinion, I'll say it. Consuming alcohol in public should not be illegal. However, being intoxicated in public, that probably should be. Just being a nuisance in general. Should be illegal, I guess, but I'm just walking, enjoying an adult beverage. That shouldn't be illegal. But I'm getting close to home here, so I'm going to end the stream at some point in the near future. I don't know if I got much else to say on the Volvo. It served me really well. I just need to pop off that wheel. It's got a minor suspension issue from all the off-roading. See, now I'm paranoid that cop's going to pull back up behind me, but I think he's long gone. Yeah, it's got that minor suspension issue, but I think that should be fairly easily fixed. Especially if it's just the camber bolt that I think it is. Honestly, I might just put back in the original bolts, because they're obviously a lot more robust. If you saw the video, you kind of know how camber bolts work. They're a lot skinnier. So I'll have to see how that goes, and if I pull the wheel off, maybe the alignment shop will honor their alignment and realign that portion for free and really cinch down the camber bolt this time. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if it's the camber bolt that went bad. So I gotta figure that out. But I'm like halfway through the edit of part 2 of the road trip, and so I kind of just want to do that. I do notice that that's kind of how it goes. I just work on a video for like until it's done, and in the meantime my cars don't get any love, and like they'll sit for a week or 2 at a time while I'm editing, and then they get a lot of love all at once while I'm trying to film a video. I guess for the 8 people watching, what the stream is about is any questions you have about taking my Volvo XC70 about 3,000 miles from Spokane, Washington to South Dakota. Basically the south central portion of South Dakota was the furthest part I went, and then I kind of zigzagged my way back visiting fire lookouts, because that's kind of my thing. And I make long form videos on the experience of that, so that's kind of my thing. And of course, if you have any questions, you know where the chat is. But overall, it went really well. The Volvo XC70 did a good job. And a lot of these fire lookouts, if you're unaware, they don't have roads up to them. They are not that easy to get to. And the Volvo went places that I would say might make a Jeeper apprehensive. But yeah, I think I ended up, oh, that's kind of spoilers. I don't know if I've mentioned that yet. I don't think I have. I'm going to leave that for the main videos. You don't even know what I'm talking about. I guess I'm sorry, but I am going to leave that for the main video reveal. But I will say the intent was to visit 19 fire lookouts, which I wanted to make it 20, but by the time I'd visited half of them, I was exhausted and just trying to make it to the rest of them. Don't boo me. I feel like I'm getting booed by the one person that came up to my stand-up comedy show. You know, it happens. You bomb. Well, I'm getting pretty close to home now. I'm gonna end the stream. Of course, if you want to see more behind the scenes stuff, subscribe for the shorts, and if you want to see the full-length videos, then subscribe and pay attention to your subscriptions feed for the full-length stuff. Yeah, I guess that's about it. I will see you tomorrow, and again on Friday. Bye.